In Unit 7, we're doing similar polygons. All right, I've got on your notes, you should have a picture that looks like this. What kind of shapes are these? We learned this right before we left.
Polygons.
They are polygons. They have 5 sides, and it's called a what kind of gon?
Pentagon.
What?
Pentagon.
A pentagon. Very good. This is a pentagon. Notice they're not the same size. So we cannot call them congruent. I cannot call them congruent because they're not the same size. But they're the same shape, and they're just a reduction of the same shape.
Okay, so would they be corresponding then?
Kind of. We're going to call them similar. Okay? And similar just doesn't mean they look kind of alike. Geometry has a very specific way that similar is. Mathematicians are very specific. So the 2 things that similar means in geometry, it means that that they have congruent corresponding angles. So all their angles that correspond to each other are congruent. So there is some stuff that is the same. So for example, I'm going to just say that A and L are corresponding. They're equal. B and M would be the same measure, right? But their sides are not congruent, but they are proportional. That's why we learned about proportions and ratios. So I could make a proportion out of the lengths of the sides. I think they were fill in the blanks for those on your note sheets, by the way. So you'll want to make sure that you have that note sheet that right here, and you'll want to write down those fill in the blanks, okay? So they have congruent corresponding angles and proportional corresponding sides. So what are congruent?
The angles.
What are proportional?
The sides.
All right.
Corresponding angles.
Corresponding angles, that's correct.
Not all the angles.
All right. When I name it, just like a little bit ago we had I said right here I can't make them congruent. So the symbol for proportional is the part that doesn't have the equal. It's called a tilde, but it doesn't have the equal with it. It just has the little squiggle. Okay? So when you see that...
Oh, is that what we put for naming?
Yes, this is what you put for naming. That's right. So notice how I'm naming them in order. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. Had to go around.
And you also were very nice to start alphabetical order.
I did.
Thank you.
And so that means that when I list over here, the order that I picked for the first one is important for the one for the second one, because it means that it tells you what corresponds. It tells you that A corresponds with L. It tells you that B corresponds with M. Just like when we were naming congruent triangles, the order of those letters mattered. The order of these letters matter. Okay? So if I'm going to write a proportion, if I said AB, I'd have to have LM on that side. Are you with me so far? Because AB corresponds with LM for my proportion. On the bottom of my fraction, if I said DE, what would have to go over here? OP. All right? Because it matches with my naming. Okay? Now, I have a different one because we can do it in different ways. I have AB and LM. And I could have listed it a different way also. This time I did these ones on the large ones on top. So AB, notice AB is over here, and it goes with LM, right? And CD is this, it goes with NO. Are you with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to talk about something called the scale factor. The scale factor. The scale factor is the ratio of the corresponding sides. We're going to do some of those. I'm going to have you write that one. It's the ratio. What is another word for ratio? What can we say for ratio instead? Fraction. So it's the fraction of the corresponding sides, and it's the reduced fraction. I'm going to do a problem that I think will help you to understand it better in a couple moments, okay, with the scale factor. All right, here we go. Just watch this one. Last I had polygons, we had pentagons, now I have triangles. We're going to do tons with similar triangles. And so I want you to notice how I have A, B, and C in that order, A, B, and then C. And they're telling you that it's similar. So that's telling you that A goes with what?
R.
R. And B goes with
S.
S. And then by process of elimination,
C.
C has to go with T, okay? That means that those angles are congruent to each other, correct? Are the sides congruent to each other?
No.
They're what instead?
Corresponding.
They're corresponding, and we can't make equations, but we can make proportions. All right? All right, so this right here, we want to know if these are similar.
Is this one our homework?
This is one of our homeworks. Number 1 on your homework, yes. I like doing some of the problems on your homework. It gives you a little less to do. It has the example right next to it. Number 1, state if the polygons are similar. There are 2 criteria for being similar. First, the angles have to be, well, first of all, they have to be the same shape. Are they the same shape?
Yes.
Both of those are parallelograms,
Yes.
okay? Now, are the angles congruent?
Maybe.
Maybe. So what do we know about these angles here and here? Because they're parallel, what do those have to add up to be?
180.
180. So if that's 80, how much is that one?
80. Oh, that's 100.
Very good,
Yeah.
so 100.
Same. Oh.
Okay, so is that true?
Yes.
Down here? Yes. So if this one's 100, this one has to be
80.
okay, so it met the criteria of being the same shape. It's met the criteria of being angles congruent. The last one was sides proportional. So this part takes a little bit more, but not too much. So we're going to take, what corresponds with 32 on the other one? 40. So I'm going to put 32 over 40. Pick another one. What's another number that would go with on the top one?
28.
28. And 28, we have to put it on the top of the fraction because we put the 32 on the top of the fraction. Okay, so what goes with 28?
35.
35. Do these reduce to the same number? What can I take out of 32 and 40?
2.
2, so I'll have 16 over 20. I can do that again. I can take 4 out of those. So I'll have 4 over 5, I believe.
Yes, they're similar.
And so on 28 and 35, I can take a 7 out of both.
You can take a 4 out of them. Too.
Yes. 7's higher than 4, so I'll get there faster. I will get 4 over 5. Are they similar?
Yes.
When you do a problem and to have a no, what would I have to have down here to say no? Two different fractions. By the way, I said something about doing scale factor a little bit ago. If they asked you the scale factor would have been 4 over 5.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So that's not the answer to this particular one, but that's the scale factor in case you need to know.
Okay.
So the answer to this one, what is the answer to this one, by the way?
Yes.
The answer is yes. They're similar, yes.
The answer is maybe.
We can be more specific. All right, what's the next one? The next one we're going to do together is number 4.
Of course.
4.
Number 4. The polygon in each are similar. Find the scale factor of the smaller figure to the larger figure. The reason they have to tell you that is because what goes on top of the fraction is the smaller one, and the bottom of the fraction is the larger one. Okay, so pick a number on the smaller one.
20.
20. What corresponds with 20 on the larger one?
24.
Reduce the fraction and you will have the scale factor.
Oh, I don't even have to do the other side.
You don't even have to do the other side. It should be, they're telling you they're similar already,
Yeah.
so it will correspond. Okay. I can take a 4 out of both.
Or 6.
That's what I got. And I didn't even use a calculator.
Mm-hmm.
I did.
No problem. No problem. All right, 5 over 6 is the scale factor. If you would have decided, and Ryan, you were saying, do I have to do the other one? If you would have decided to use the other one, it would have also reduced to 5/6. So it wouldn't have mattered which one you picked. All right. Next one. The polygons in each pair are similar. Find the missing length. I'm going to call this question mark X because I like that letter.
Oh, 7.
Number 7, by the way, number 7. I don't know. Let's do X first. X corresponds with what on the other polygon? 25. I like to do top to bottom. This is one of the polygons. This is the other one. Really, though, if you wanted to, you could do this, both of them on top. You will get the same thing. I'm just switching the means and extremes. Okay? All right. So since I put X on the top, I need to pick a number. And it looks like they're both 16. So 16 is going to have to do. 16, and I did it on top. What goes on the bottom then?
40.
40, that's right. This is why we did the cross multiply thing. The means and extremes, Amy, you were looking at that week.
Multiply again?
Yes, we're going to cross multiply again. Since I did it this way, I did top and top. I would do bottom and bottom. 16 over 40. And I just switched some means and extremes there. Okay? I'll have 40x.
Yeah.
Is it 400 here?
Yeah.
X equals 10. Okay.
Is that our answer?
Yes, I just wanted to find the missing length, and we did it.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
For like something like number 8, does it matter which other number you choose?
As long as it corresponds, 12 you don't know.
Yeah, no.
so
So you got to do the 9.8 or the 14.
Okay.
Okay? All right.
I did that.
I would personally don't like the decimals, but yeah.
I do 14.
Yeah.
All right, let's look at number 10. Number 10. I need help with number 10. Is that a plus? Yeah, it's a plus.
What?
All right, we're going to do number 10. Which number?
Number 10.
All right. It says that they are similar. And so we got to make a proportion. What are you going to put on the fraction of this first one? What do you want me to put over on this side?
24.
24 over
20.
20, okay. And then now that you've picked that, you have to stay consistent.
48.
What goes on the other side? 48
48
over
negative 8 plus 6.
Yes, I'm going to let you finish solving that on your own, because that's not the part that you might have needed help with. Okay?
So we're going to finish that at home?
Yes, you're going to finish that at home.
Oh, finish it. Oh.
Yeah, because I want to make sure you guys get as much help on how to set it up. And we're running out of time. All right, here we go. You just covered similar figures or similar polygons. Remember that the angles have to be congruent and the sides are proportional. Corresponding sides are proportional, right? And we learned that we use the little tilde when we're naming them. And we learned that we made ratios of the corresponding sides, and we made proportions and solved them with the cross multiply. All right? Questions? All right. We're going to talk quickly about your geometry project. I think most of you read it, so we don't have to do a lot. But then we're going to say goodbye.